Hello and welcome back to another video from China. Yes, I'm in China. I'm actually in a park right now, an absolutely gorgeous park. It is beautiful with the mountains in the background. The only problem is it's very hot. It's like 35, 36 degrees today, really hot. So anyway, the reason for this video is there's no reason really. I just want to talk really because yeah, it's better than sitting in the house stressing about things. So I thought I'll make a video. It relieves stress. So yeah, there's a problem. I'm encountering an issue. So basically, I booked a flight to England to visit family and friends for a holiday. And this flight was due to fly yesterday. And it did fly yesterday, just without me. So yeah, the airline didn't actually cancel the flight. I cancelled the flight because of a little issue here that I'm having, or I had. I think it's resolved, I don't know. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So basically, I booked a flight to go to England yesterday. It was yesterday. And a few weeks back, I told my boss I'm flying back to England. He said, yeah, fair enough. When you get back, we'll need to renew your visa because we need to renew the visa every year here in China if you work here in China. So I said, yeah, fair enough, yeah, standard. But then I told my boss, oh, by the way, my passport runs out in February next year. Would that be an issue for the visa? Is there anything else I need to do or anything? He said, ooh, your passport runs out. That could be a little issue. He said, because when you go to England, you'll have to stay in England for a few weeks, then come back. You can't stay for a month and a half, what I was planning on doing, because doing your visa on a new passport, he says, will take a long time, and he wants to be safe than sorry. So basically he said, you need to come back really early, quite early, maybe the end of July sometime. And I thought, ooh, so come back like a month early just because of this visa, and then I'll not be able to travel after that because they'll have my passport. So I said, ooh, I don't like the sound of that idea, man. So he said, well, there's another idea, Araf. I said, what's the other idea, mate? Go on, hit me with it. Not literally. He said, what about if we renew your visa now in your old passport and you can go home for as long as you like? Come back end of August, and when you come back with your new passport, because I'll be renewing it back in England, we'll just transfer the visa onto your new passport. So I thought, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I like the sound of that idea. I said, how long will the process be for the visa? What's the quickest? Because I've got a flight booked and I don't want to lose any money. You know, it's quite expensive going to England these days, like after COVID. So he said, not long, maybe 10 days, something like that. I thought, yeah, I've got about 2 weeks. That's perfect. So we book a date in the visa office, expected to go on that day. The day comes, we get a phone call from the visa office and they say you can't get your visa now. So I thought, you can't get your visa? Why not? We've booked a date, you know, what's the issue? They said, you went to England in January, didn't you? I said, yes, I went to England on a holiday, yes, Chinese New Year. They said, did you check in with the police when you came back to China? I said, no. Check in with the police? I said, did I have to check in with the police? They said, yes, when you leave the country as a foreigner, you have to check in with your local police when you come back to China. I'm not sure if it's just foreigners or Chinese, but as far as I know, it's only for foreigners, which is fair enough. There's a reason why China is one of the safest countries in the world, because they're on top of things, you know. They need to know who's coming in, who's going out, which is why China's safe and why I like living here. So that's fair enough. I said, no, I didn't know. So what do I do now? He said, well, tomorrow you need to go to your local police station and check in with them, saying you came back from England in February. I didn't actually know about this rule. Maybe I didn't know about it is because, well, I've been in China a lot of years now, but maybe I didn't know about this rule is because the duration I've been in China, or most of it, has been under COVID, and nobody's been traveling under COVID because traveling was restricted. So yeah, hardly traveled since I've been in China at all, really. Maybe that's one of the reasons I didn't know about this rule. So I thought, fair enough, at least now I know for next time kind of thing. I'll go to the police station tomorrow and it'll delay my visa for another 2 days. We're pushing for time to get the flight, but you know, I'm optimistic. So we go to the police station the next day, we check in, everything's cool, we get a certificate saying I've checked in with the police station. I book another day at the visa office to go in and apply for my new visa. So the day comes, me and another teacher go to the visa office, and my Chinese boss. You need a Chinese, like your Chinese work staff to go there to help you do the visa and to translate a lot of things. So we go there, my friend sits down, does her photograph, signs a few forms, bang, applies for her visa. It'll take about 10 days or so. I'll go and sit down. Within 30 seconds, the guy hands back the form to my boss and says he can't get a visa. And I'm thinking, oh, come on, this is the second time. What's going on? You rang me the other day and you said all I had to do is check in with the police station, and I did. So what's the issue now? Like, what could possibly be the issue? Well, this is kind of an issue I didn't think was an issue, but apparently it's quite complex. So I live in a city in China, but I work in a different city, right? But the other city that I work in is very close. It's like about 25 minutes in a car. Only 25 minutes, which is absolutely nothing. People back home in England travel for hours for their job every morning. So yeah, I didn't think that was an issue. I didn't think you had to work in the city you lived in. And you don't, but this is where the issue is. So they told me that when I checked in with the police station, that I should have checked in with the police station where I work too. So I had to check in with 2 police stations, which I didn't have a clue about. I didn't even know I had to check in with 1 police station, never mind 2. I just want to interrupt. Look at that view. Look at that view. Gorgeous. It makes everything better. It makes all the money I lost for these flights. I was going to say worth it, and it's not worth it. Just it eases the pain. But anyway, so I said, oh God, really? I was already pushing for time, so now I have to book in with the local police station, then wait a few days because it was a weekend, then come back on the Monday and apply for the visa again. I said, you're joking. I'm definitely going to miss my flight now. And I knew then that I was going to miss my flight 100%. And there was no doubt about it. But then I thought, you know, at least we kind of resolved the problem and it will only take an extra few days. So I kind of, you know, I was at peace with the idea. I was stressed for a while. I lost 350 pounds, which is just over 3,000 renminbi. So I was stressed, I was, you know, upset, pissed off, but, you know, I got over it after a while, and I thought, you know, it is what it is. At least now we know the problem, and I'll go home, you know, a few days later, instead of going home with my friends and with a pocket full of money. I'll go home on my own a few days later with less money. But, you know, I was at peace with the idea after a while. So the next day comes and we go to the police station and we check in with the police station. We told them that we basically told them that we lived in a different city, and there was a problem, another problem, believe it or not. See, they said, why are you coming here to check in? You need to check in in the police station where you live, your local police station. We said we did, but the visa office said we need to check in at the police station where we work too. And they said, well, for that, you need an address. You need an address, an address in the city where I work in. I don't have an address in the city I work in. I live in a different city. So I said, well, does that mean I'm not supposed to work in the city I live? I mean, I'm getting muddled up here. Am I not supposed to be working in a city where I don't live? Like, is that an issue? They said, no, it's not an issue, but you need an address for the city where you work, as well as the city, the city where you live. So I said, well, what the hell do I do now? I mean, it's issue after issue after issue. So, I'm glad I'm having these issues. So you don't do these issues. So you don't have these issues. Because in case you get a problem, if you're a foreigner and you come to China and you work in a city but live in a different city, you can maybe watch this video and learn from these mistakes. So I will make these mistakes so you don't have to. But anyway, so I said, well, what do we do now? There was a few options. They said, I don't know what the options were, to be honest, but my boss said, since our school has halls, they actually have dormitories where teachers live, because teachers live all over China that work in our school. So we have dormitories, very cheap dormitories, very nice dormitories, and that they actually offered me to live there a while back. They actually offered us a room in a dormitory, like the school offered us a room a while back when we first started, but I refused because, I love the city that I live in. I've got my friends there. I've been there since the beginning, so there was no reason to move. And work was only 25 minutes away. It wasn't like it was hours away or, hours away. So I thought 25 minutes in a car every morning, that's nothing, absolutely nothing. Like I said before, people in England travel for hours every day. They travel to Scotland, from England to Scotland every day. An hour and a half, 2 hours just to go to work. So I thought, not an issue at all. I don't want to leave a completely great city just so I can live closer to work. I didn't have an issue with the 25 minutes traveling every morning, and it's 20 minutes if the roads are empty, so very close. So I said, no, I'm happy where I live. All my friends are there, my life's there. So that's why I didn't leave my city to live in the city I work in, which is fair enough, they understood. So anyway, going back to the police station, so the boss said, why don't you live in the dormitories as well, and you'll have an address at the school, so then the police station can have an address for you. And the police station, or the policeman, said, yes, great idea, have an address at the school, and then you'll have an address in the system for the city I work in. So I said, yes, let's do it. So moved some of my stuff to the school, made myself comfortable there, and we registered at the police station again. And I got a certificate from the police station where I worked, and I've got a certificate from the police station where I live. So now I was delayed like over a week, or maybe 10 days delay for my next flight that I can book. So we went back to the visa office the next day, and luckily and thankfully they accepted it. They said, yes, you've registered with the local police station, we can accept your visa. It will take around 10 days. And obviously my flight was yesterday, so I wasn't on the flight, and it is what it is. It happens, one of those things. But at least now I know for next time. This issue all started because my passport was running out of date. Why is my passport running out of date? 10 years, you have to choose this year. So anyway, it doesn't run out till February, but you need to renew it quite sharp. So as soon as I get home to England next week, I'll be renewing the passport. So I'm still waiting on my passport to come back. The passport I've got now from the visa office. I'm supposed to be going there this Friday. So fingers crossed there's no more problems. I just can't believe it. I've encountered nearly every issue that you can encounter with a visa, or a lot of issues with them anyway. But the positive is, if there's any positive, I can learn through this process and yeah, make sure it doesn't happen again, make sure I'm on top of things and I'll not lose any money. Heading back to my e-bike now, going for a drive, going to get some shopping in, do some cooking. I finished work now, so I've got a lot of free time. So that's why I was supposed to be back home in England, spending it with family, but I'm still enjoying my time here, going on nice walks, enjoying the weather, and yeah, just chilling out mainly. So yeah, the point of this video is for me to give advice for someone that's coming to China. If you're coming here and you're going to work in a different city to where you live, make sure you check into every police station when you come here, and when you leave the country, even to Japan, like a close country, and come back, make sure you check in with the police station. And if you work in a different city, check in with them too, and you'll have no issue. And make sure you check in 24 hours. I think the rule is 24 hours. Obviously, it took me about 6 months because I didn't even know about it. And I definitely didn't know I had to check into the police station where I worked as well as I lived. But now I know, and now you know if you come to China. So I'll make the mistakes, the big mistakes, so you don't have to. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative and positive in a way, because we're learning. It's the journey, life's a journey, we're learning. So hopefully you found it interesting, and hopefully the next video on this channel is me heading home to England. I'll record my journey from China to England, from home to home, if there's no other problems. If you don't hear from me for a couple more weeks, another problem has occurred, unfortunately. Let's hope not, Always look at the bright side of life. I can't whistle. Always look on the bright side of life. Oh, those are the words here. Did it. I don't know the rest of the words, but it's a good tune. Life of Brian, I recommend. Love a bit of Monty Python. So yeah, that's the video. I'll end it there, and I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope you're enjoying the weather. It's very sunny in China and in England at the moment back home. So not sure about the whole of the UK. Scotland's usually not the sunniest, but maybe it's sunny now, because the weather is improving in the UK every year. It's getting hotter and hotter. Global warming. Right, anyway, I'll end it there. Be good, be safe, be kind, and I'll see you on the next one. Boom.